Hello, Mrs. Conrad's Theater class at Wichita County High School. I am Sierra Calhoun, and I am a junior at Fort Hays State University in music education. I'm originally from Beloit, Kansas. I graduated from Beloit High School, and I have been in about 6 shows and 2 theater showcases here at Fort Hays State University. I recently played Rosie in Mamma Mia and Louise Parker in Rancho Mirage, and I was just recently double cast as Marcellina in The Marriage of Figaro. What has FHSU Theater done for me? Well, it's definitely given me a lot more opportunities to play parts I didn't even know I could play, especially when I played April in Stephen Sondheim's Company. And not to be graphic, but there was a romantic scene where I was required to strip down to my skivvies and get in bed with another character. Don't worry, I was wearing a slip, but as a sophomore in my first ever major role, I was kind of terrified. I was acting opposite a super senior. He had been around before, and he still is an amazing performer. But after working with my scene partner and our wonderful director, Tommy Williams, it turned out to be amazing, and I actually became one of my favorite roles. And what I love about this department is that you could just walk up to our directors, you could walk up to one of us, our upperclassmen, older actors, and ask any acting advice. And the crazy thing is, we want to help and we want you to succeed. So you should never be afraid to ask your director for help or a respected older actor. And it's just kind of a great thing to be able to ask for advice from older people and expect real answers. And what advice would I give to aspiring actors? I have 2 major pieces of advice that has gotten me so far. Like, first, if you're in a scene that is kind of out of your comfort zone, like being violent, like slapping someone in the face, or being romantic, like kissing, don't be afraid to talk with that person. Please talk to that person. Figure something out that works for both of you, and don't be afraid to get together before or after practice. This might sound crazy, but when I had my first stage kiss, we actually did it privately on stage before other actors came up from the dressing room to kind of get comfortable with each other without like a lot of people watching and expecting things, and also making sure the lipstick I wore didn't transfer. Also important. Trust me, there is nothing worse for me as an audience member than watching this beautifully written scene but the actors look like 8th graders at a spring formal. Sarah and Johnny might hate each other, but guess what? Cinderella and Prince Charming don't. So when you step on the stage, you leave your real life at the door. Like, second, when you walk into an audition, do not expect anything. Just pretend you're auditioning. If you've done this before for the same people, just pretend you're auditioning for complete and total strangers, like this is Broadway or something. And just remember that to always be grateful for your director's time and the other actors that are there watching as well if it's an open audition. And if you don't get the part you wanted, just remember that you might be put into that role because your strengths as an actor would shine more so in this character than that character. And someone's strengths might shine more in that character that you wanted. So being in a show is a team effort, and we all must work together to create an amazing performance. So.
Hi, my name is Adam Flax, and I'm a senior at Fort Hays studying music education. And I've been involved in theater for quite a few years, but while at Fort Hays, I've been able to be in Footloose and Showboat and Company, and then this past fall, Mamma Mia, as well as the opera's last 3 years. And my advice for a future in acting is you don't have to see yourself pursuing a career in acting to still find that artistic outlet that theater can provide. So it doesn't matter if it's with a community theater or, in a club or something like that in college or beyond in life. It's something that you can stay involved in and have that creative outlet. And that's something that Fort Hays has actually helped me with because I knew theater was not something I wanted to pursue as a career, but it was something I enjoyed doing. And at Fort Hays, I was able to still pursue music education, but be involved in the productions and still continue my love of theater at a collegiate level. And I appreciate that Fort Hays allows me to do that.
And, some advice I would give to aspiring actors is, you know, never give up, especially on while you're still in school, because if you're at Fort Hays, it's a small program and you're going to see people at bigger programs who you think are doing more or being more successful, and you just have to keep in mind that everyone's journey is different and unique and special, and just because they're somewhere bigger and it seems more flashy, your experience at Fort Hays or wherever is your own, and you have to know that you're doing the best that you can. And that's really all I have to say on that. You just have to keep going, because you're always going to doubt yourself in some way, that you, for whatever reason, you think you're not doing enough, or you're not excelling or getting better at whatever pace that you've set for yourself. And I just say you have to keep in mind that you are growing, you are excelling, whether you realize it or not. And if you're auditioning for shows at your school, you have to realize that there are probably a lot of people that are older than you that might pass you up for parts. And that's not on you. It's not because you're not good. You're probably great. It's just that that's kind of how that works at college, at least. It's the people that have been there the longest are probably going to get the roles, and you just have to be patient, and I promise you will get the experience that you want out of performing while you're at school.
What being involved in theater means to me, I would just like to say, I think it allows to open doors for you. It's so much more, yeah, I mean, like, you get handed a script, you're like, oh, and the director's like, hey, you're portraying character A, here are the lines, go for it. I think in depth, it allows you to step outside of yourself and into the said character that you're asked to portray. It opens doors for you to see the world through someone else's eyes, and literally in their shoes. And I think it gives you the opportunity to empathize for certain emotions and situations, however dramatic and exaggerated they are. You know, it's a wonderful experience that, you know, it's somewhat hard to explain because it is something, you know, that you feel it's within you, just like being involved in music. It's something like that's within us as it is, much as it is around us. So it's sort of hard to explain, but those that are not even majoring in it, I got the opportunity to make a lot of friends that are studying in different departments that love to be involved in theater. And they said it was just a lot of fun, and they got to make friends, and they just, you know, got to like step outside of the comfort zone. And, you know, a lot of us could, you know, benefit from doing that sometimes. The most aspiring, you know, performers, I believe, are the ones that realize, like, whether it's for singing, once you step onto the stage and realize it's not about you performing, it's about the music you're performing. And I believe that goes the same for theater, you know, as if you're putting, it's like, there's this beautiful story that I get to be a part of, and I want to share it with my audience, because that's the gift given to you, is that you can share it with the audience. And it's like a mirror. If they, you know, feed into, you know, the energy, then you're doing your job correctly. You know, it doesn't matter what awards or what recognition you have. I mean, recognition is nice, do not get me wrong. I mean, everyone, you know, it's always nice to get a job well done because you've worked so hard for it, but, you know, it really just matters of, you know, if you're satisfied with what you do, and great. And then learning with everyone around you, and encouraging each other to challenge each other positively, you know, and to keep going and move forward and expand, you know, your skills and what you can do. And, you know, there's no, don't limit yourself, you know, set the bar higher. You know, if you feel like you've met it, then set it higher, and then you keep going and going on and see how far you can go. You know, I think that's basically it, you know, just have ambition and just go for it. And good character from yourself, you know, as long as you have a good heart, a good mind, a good character, if you're just all around, you know, a wonderful person, a good person to work with, that reaches further than any talent, you know. And when you step out into the world to do this for work, if a reputation does actually count, because if they hear, if they take like person A, who is extremely talented but is, you know, extremely difficult to work with, and then there's person B who probably has just as amount just the same amount of talent, maybe a little less, but is also like wonderful to work with and probably can improve to be just as good as person A, then they're gonna, you know, pretty black and white there. But yeah, that's basically it, you know. Just have if you know, just have the heart, have the ambition, and just have a good time. You know, it's a lot of fun. The friends that you make, you know, that eventually may or may not become your family, you know, it's basically the most important thing. And that's really what I'm taking away from when I leave, unfortunately, the music and theater department, is family, the love, you know, the memories that are going to just last a lifetime for me. And I will always be grateful for that. So I hope this sufficed. So thank you very much.